Hello, and thanks for tuning into another Monarch Snapshot video. My name is Greg Stilson, and I lead the Global Technology Innovations team here at the American Printing House for the Blind. In this video, we are going to walk through sort of a nuanced feature within the Tactile viewer, and that is the ability to increase or decrease the level of detail that you see in a graphic. In really high-end embossers, you're going to get things like high dots per inch, so anywhere from 25 dots per inch to 50 dots per inch, maybe even more. What that does is that allows an embosser to put more dots in a smaller amount of area to give you more detail, and it allows you to create really crisp graphics. The Monarch, as it makes up for that with speed and ability to render graphics very quickly, it is a lower end dots per inch embosser, meaning the level of detail is not comparable to things like those really high end tactile graphics embossers. So what we did is we built in the ability for you to manually, when you don't have enough detail in a graphic, to actually force it to increase the amount of detail. What that does is if there is, let's say, lighter shades of gray or things like that, it increases the sensitivity to show more pins when it sees maybe a lighter color. And so what we're going to do is walk through a map that we created on the T-Map system through the San Francisco Lighthouse. And what we're going to show you is how the lines can get thickened up so that you can get more detail. So what I'm going to do is open up my Tactile viewer by pressing the letter T from the main menu.
Tactile viewer.
And press enter here. And
Tactile
now
viewer.
what you're looking at is the image of the map, but it's super zoomed out, right? That's how when tactile graphics are created, we want to make sure that we zoom them into the level of the braille labeling so that you get the full details with the braille labels. So what we're looking at here is sort of the overview. I can sort of see a grid pattern-ish type of thing here, but I don't see anything in detail, right? What I'm going to do now is you can either zoom in by just tapping the plus button on the Monarch, or you can use that point and click gesture to zoom in a specific place. I'm going to press the plus button here to zoom in right now. So I've now zoomed in somewhere in this graphic, and what I'm going to do is just use my D-pad to navigate around the graphic. And actually, I zoomed in pretty much right where it looks like there's a symbol that represents a house in the middle, and that's kind of right in the middle of my graphic. And I'm going to use the arrow keys to pan around and see if I can see some braille labels here. All right, I see something that says EMN on the left side, and if I scroll back up a little bit, I'm going to see if I see more labels. I see something that says EWT. So I don't know what those labels mean. And this map was actually created with a collection of other pages in a multi-page PDF. And that's pretty common with tactile graphics. When you have a legend and you have a graphic, sometimes they're going to be put on different pages within the same PDF. And so we can turn the pages to get to the legend, and I know that the legend in this graphic is on page 3. So I'm going to press enter and dots 1, 3, 5, like a right arrow, to turn the page to the next page. I'm going to press it a second time. And I'm going to zoom in here. And now I see braille labels that are actually showing up. And I want to see what EJF, EMN, any of those things. So EMN I can see is East Main Street. EJF is East Jefferson East Jefferson Street. And the cool thing with the T-maps, if you've never used them, is it also shows you which direction those streets go. So it says east, E-W, east, west, east, west, east, west. So now that I've done this, and I've understood that EMN and EJF and all those kind of things, I know what those mean now. I'm going to go back by pressing the left arrow command, which is dots 1, 4, 6, and the enter key. I'm going to press that a couple times to go back to my original graphic and zoom back in. And now I'm looking at this graphic again. Now what you notice is with this graphic, the lines can be a little bit thin, and you sometimes get gaps within the lines. What I'm going to do is thicken this up a little bit or increase the amount of detail so that I can kind of get a better sense of what these streets look like. So if I press space and dots 4, 6, and of course any of these commands, the next page command or previous page command, detail command, can all be found in the context menu by pressing space with M or by holding that square button on the front of your device. I'm going to start increasing the detail, and you'll see that these lines are slowly starting to thicken up with more detail. Now I'm getting double lines in certain places, and it's allowing a smoother transition as I'm moving left and right. So I always recommend that in situations where maybe you're not getting the level of detail you're looking for, try pressing space dot 46 to increase detail or space dot 13 to decrease detail. And as we aren't able to render perfectly every single graphic that's ever been created, now I can see this house in the middle on some of the kind of the left side middle. I can feel that that actually feels like a house with a more of a triangle shape at the top now. But as we aren't able to render every graphic as perfectly as a really high-end embosser, we tried to really create an algorithm where we show the vast majority of graphics when you load them very accurately. But if you do need to make fine-tune changes, you have, of course, the increase or decrease detail with space 13 or space 46 to increase detail. Thanks for watching another Snapshot video from your friends here at APH and Humanware.